Welcome back to Corbin AI, where I am showing you how to start leveraging artificial intelligence in your personal and your business life through in-depth tutorials. This is our one-on-one dialogue where we talk about specific topics, and through my experience, I kind of gave you my, viewpoint on that specific topic. Now, the reason you clicked on this video is because we're diving into the topic of what is the expected timeline for you to start a SaaS product, more specifically a SaaS product that is integrated with artificial intelligence, and to take that one step further, the timeline for a person or individual that maybe has little to zero coding experience. I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you. There's going to be basically three major phases before you can really take the leap to building out a product of this nature. So I'm gonna jump down here real quick. Let me go ahead and erase this welcome. And let's talk about stage one here. So even if you have coding experience, this may be still a useful video to watch because there will be, valuable insight on, everything involved when building out a SaaS product, the intuitively understanding what's going on with a SaaS product and stuff of that nature. But phase one essentially is getting comfortable with automation software. So softwares like Zapier, softwares like Make, whatever, floats your boat. Essentially getting comfortable with automation softwares is phase one. Why is it phase one? Are a couple of reasons. First reason is basically this is little to no code. So it's already going to be comfortable for you. It's a very simple drag and drop platform. But on top of that, it teaches you a valuable lesson about SaaS products and just in general what it means to develop in software, which is a big part of it is essentially just data transferring, right? So in this context, it's like transferring data from ChatGPT output into an Instagram caption. Maybe an individual submits a lead form, and then we're going to go ahead and take the data from that lead form, input it into an email that we automatically send. This process, that connecting of the dots of understanding, okay, this essentially all that's going on here is just transferring of data. You get more comfortable with this idea, and as you get more comfortable with this idea, you're going to be able to extend it past platforms like Zapier. So we got no code or little to no code, and essentially understanding intuitively what it means to build out a SaaS product, which a lot of the times is just passing data around built on different models. The third thing is, one great thing is that it's free. So there is no barrier of entry money wise. You can start a Zapier platform for completely free. You can start your Make account for completely free. Both of these are free and can get started right away. Now, I think the biggest one out of these three, which honestly, personally, I would say data, but I think for a lot of people, it's the fact that there is no code involved. For a lot of these flows, there's no code involved, and it essentially get your brain to start thinking in the way of approaching task and understanding that all your labor, it can be automated in some way or another. Now, some labor can't be, but to make this more clear, essentially, look at it this way. Essentially, if I would have started ground zero again, and I had zero coding experience years ago, and I wanted to essentially get into the world of software and understand how to approach software correctly, you'd want to start an automation platform. And here's why. Beyond all the 3 points I just laid out, it's like killing two birds with one stone. And what I mean by that essentially is look at what labor that you do on a day-to-day task. What do you do every single day that maybe you're responding to emails every single day. Maybe there is a form or an Excel sheet that you're inputting data form. Maybe you are building out a social media schedule for your side hustle or your business, and you're doing that once every week. Stuff of this nature. So what is the labor that you're doing right now? And then we take that labor and essentially we draw it on a whiteboard. If you're familiar with the channel, it's called the bucket method. And essentially you take your two buckets and you put in essentially the stuff that can be automated and the stuff that truly can't be automated. Now first question might be, okay, what truly can't be automated? A good example of this is a past company I used to run was a lot of the inventory management. I had to actually walk into the bank, sign papers because it was foreign. It was the manufacturers we used were abroad seas. They were located in Shenzhen, China. So I would have to walk in the bank. I'd have to physically sign a piece of paper, giving my consent to essentially send X amount of money to buy X amount of inventory. So this is an example of a task that truly can't be automated no matter how much. I can't send in a robot version of me, maybe in the future, maybe there'll be like quite literally a Corbin AI that walks in. But for now, there's certain tasks that either can't be truly automated or you actually are going to lose out on the return if you automate it. So maybe the way you spend your money for, certain things, I give financials as the example a lot of the time because that is a pretty important metric of showing you whether you can really operate a business well or not. Because end of the day, when spending your money and you're spending your capital in the business that you're running, it is an opportunity cost. Because if you spend this much on marketing, that means you can't spend this much, in operations and stuff of this nature. So there's stuff you can't automate. But I guarantee you, at least 50% of what you're currently doing, this is assuming that you have zero automation, can be automated. So knowing this, and you've never coded before, and you want to get into this industry, start by doing something as simple as this. Take everything that you already do and try to automate it with these platforms. This is going to do two things. The first thing it's going to do is that, one, now you're even more incentivized to do it because you know if you achieve it and it actually comes out correct, you've just, one, learned something and freed up more time for your business through doing the automation. Two, it isn't like, oh, come to Khan Academy, let me show you how to, let's build a little hypothetical project and do theoretical work on building out automation. And then at the end, hoorah, you got 100% on building out that theoretical workflow. No, this is you actually building out a workflow that has pragmatic use for your underlying company or your personal life. So that's stage one. That's how you're going to approach stage one. You're going to do it by essentially actually building out stuff that's going to give you return past stage one. So once you get past stage one, which is getting comfortable with automation platforms, we arrive at stage two. And stage two essentially is taking those automation platforms and going to the next level. And you might be saying, what's the next level? The next level here is API documentation. So if you're completely new and this doesn't sound, what is an API? So essentially API is what gives you the ability to transfer that data, to pass that OpenAI caption to Instagram, to pass that form data from Google Forms to Gmail. That passing of data or receiving of data, that is what we call API calls. And another way of saying it is like webhooks. You either post, send data, or you get, receive data. So understanding API calls is the next phase. And the next phase here, and one thing I want to point out is phase one. That's going to be 3 months. Now, some might learn faster, some might learn slower, but genuinely, if you've never experienced automation or never experienced coding, that's going to be 3 months of just trying to deep learn and really understand that platform. So I would say 3 months for stage one. That's how 2 to 3 months, depending on how fast you can learn and how much time you can allocate to this process. 2 to 3 months for you to get a full comprehension of automation. Once you get a full comprehension of automation, if I can speak, we're going to go to stage two here. Now, stage two, it depends on the user, how long it lasts here. But what stage two is essentially is you're going to take what's natively integrated into Zapier. So, the 5,000 apps in Zapier. You're going to take those 5,000 apps and you're going to go ahead and start doing something called an API request. And that is just another function within automation software that essentially allows you to communicate with the API docs. So let me give an example here so it's a little bit more clear. Let's say I wanted to integrate with Google Calendar, right? So the events that may be already natively integrated with Google Calendar is like create an event, schedule an event, stuff of this nature. But let's say within the API docs, there's an event called delete an event, and that doesn't exist in Zapier. What you can do now is use the API documentation, use an API request, and solve it through a webhook or an API request found within the app, and essentially do a function that isn't a simple click and select action that's in Zapier, right? Do a function that requires you to do a little bit of API documentation, consulting. And if everything I'm just saying right now sounds really confusing, you can check out this channel here. Not only do I show you how to look at API docs using ChatGPT so it becomes very easy, I also show you how to do this process for apps that don't even integrate with Zapier. So watching both of those tutorials are going to be super valuable because that's what's going to give you better insight of understanding what even is API, what is API docs. Now, let's not make this scary because there's no point in make this scary. All you're doing when you're doing on Zapier, right? So you got your little box, you got your event, you got your app, you got your action, right? Let's just say action. So all you're doing in this context is you're choosing your app. So this would be the API documentation you want to consult with. You're choosing your event, the webhook am I receiving data? Am I pushing data? Am I deleting data? So let's, you're choosing your event and then the action. So essentially within that event, if I'm pushing data, what do I specifically want to push? What's the data I want to push? That's all you're doing in Zapier. All Zapier is a nice UI for you to develop software-based solutions through automation. That's all Zapier is. So that means once you go through phase one and you start understanding, okay, this actually, I'm passing data, this makes sense. And then you go through phase two, which essentially is taking the event that maybe doesn't exist and you're doing an API request and then you're filling in the data through code, but it's still nice UI, right? You got your body, you got your, input the URL here. It's still a nice UI. Once you go through phase two of understanding how to consult API documentation, consult with doing stuff that's not like natively integrated with Zapier. So right now we got phase one, I'd say 3 months. Then we got phase two, which is API documentation consultation, which is, I would say, 2 months. Now we can get to the last leg here, which is going to be building out the actual platform. Because essentially what's going to occur, Build SaaS. Here's what's going to occur. And everything I might say right now, you might be like, oh, this makes sense. This makes sense. But it might not click completely. And what I mean by that is in some point in phase two, there's going to be an eureka effect where essentially you're going to kind of internalize what you're truly doing intuitively. And you're going to be like, wait, everything I'm doing here and here, I can do with code. And all that Zapier provides is just a nice UI for me to look at. That's all it's providing me. So I just need to take the extra step here to maybe not care so much about the UI and just straight up code it. And, all you're doing in the code is passing API calls through posts and gets and whatever the documentation calls for. And essentially, API from here to this API, all you're doing is passing data. That's truly all you're doing. It's just passing data. So you're passing data in this context, you're passing data in this context, and you're passing data in this context. It's just that this context may be a little bit like what's going on here because it's just straight code. And you have to actually understand and read the code. But I guarantee you, if you went through the process, and this might be, let's just say, let's give us some leeway here. Basically 6 months. If you went through that process of 6 months, going through this, and then hitting right here to finally wanting to build this and actually just code it raw, I guarantee you'd have enough comprehension in order to start this process. Now, this process, can take as long as you want or as short as you want. It just depends on how good you are at, learning at that stage. But what I will say is this as well. And I'll start leaving this tutorial or this video on this. You might be saying to yourself, let's say hypothetically you kind of went through your entire business, you automated what you think you could automate. I mean, at that point, then you kind of just start experimenting and you do the next level, right? So, maybe in that business at that time, you don't have AI articles. Okay, build out an AI article. What I mean by that, genuinely sit down and go through the process of building out an AI article generator. Do it. Learn how to do it. And then through that process, you'd gain so much knowledge. Now, obviously, there's ways to expedite it. So like we sell AI article generator on our marketplace. So if you purchased it, you'd be able to see, okay, now I see how they do their flow here. I could probably translate some of the information here to a different automation I want to do that's in a different context. Like, you're learning different ways of approaching flows in that matter. But this process, basically you're putting in 6 months of your time to learn this. What's great about that as well is even if you don't have the end goal of building out that SaaS, this knowledge that you're gaining here can be transferred to a ton of different businesses, no matter the business. Even if you did a bakery, you can still use that knowledge there. Why? Well, guess what? In that context, you could automate the Google responses for your Google business and automate all this information. So not only is this a valuable skill for building out that AI SaaS, if you go down that route, this is a valuable skill for XYZ business. And that's why, you're really not losing out here. And let me just give you another example here. Like, let's say for those 6 months, rather than investing my time into learning this skill, I wanted to become an expert at repairing just bikes. And I, just got really good at repairing bikes. I'm not saying that's a bad thing to do. I'm just saying that specific skill set of repairing, bikes, you can't really transfer that to multiple different contexts past repairing bikes. Now, there will be stuff you can learn there that maybe can kind of be spread into other parts of that niche, but that's what makes the skill of automation and learning SaaS and learning AI so powerful. Is because you can use that skill and pass it to other businesses, even if you don't do that SaaS at the end of the day. And that's why I strongly encourage you to take the first step here and, kind of push here. Now, if everything I just described there sounds exciting and you want to learn more, you can check out this channel here. We do in-depth guides. These are the type of videos where I just speak one-to-one on topics. So you go ahead and leave a topic down below you want me to speak about, and I'll go ahead and dive into that. This channel is very education based. This is like basically we're approaching this new technological revolution and actually giving pragmatic value. So, maybe like way in the future, we'll do videos that are just like a crazy editing and like just try to retain your attention. The way we retain attention on this channel is just pure value. So go ahead and subscribe if you want daily artificial intelligence content, and make sure to leave a like if you found value in this video. And don't worry, we're going to be releasing videos that is more specific on that third stage later on this year, so we can start diving into that third stage. I would say on this channel, that first and that second stage we have covered immensely. So take the first step, start watching our playlist here. There's a playlist called Zapier for OpenAI, integrating all 5,000 apps. That would be a great first step to just understand the platform, understand how to approach the platform, stuff of that nature. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the playlist where I do these one-on-one dialogues, and you can go ahead and check out other conversational pieces. But without further ado, I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for tuning in. And yes, surprise, I'm an AI avatar. Make sure to explore more here at Corbin AI, where we demystify AI for your personal and business life. Until next time.